I am joined by Ring of Honor ring announcer Bobby Cruz. Bobby, the first thing I'm going to ask you is, have you healed up from the bump? And everybody who watched the show knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know. All these years with Ring of Honor and celebrating our 60th anniversary with a sold-out pay-per-view in Vegas, and I have to be dumb enough to get in the way and eat a dive from Jay Lethal. But, yeah, the guardrail hit was a little tough. A little headache that night, but a few Advil helped out, and I am now happy to say I'm fully recovered.
Did you watch it back afterwards? I know that obviously Ring of Honor has made it easier with the Honor Club service, but have you had a chance to look at that? Or was it something you didn't
Yeah,
want to relive?
so I did want to see how bad, I guess, it was, and because I didn't remember hitting my head, and then I kind of, when I had the headache, I think it was the next day, or maybe the day after, I had watched it over, and I'm like, oh, I did bang my head on the guardrail. All right, that makes sense. So, yeah, I've seen it several times, and several of my friends, one of my best friends, I've been best friends with her since high school, it was posted online, and she put a comment saying that she could just watch this over and over and over on a loop, seeing me get it taken out. So I guess some people were happy with it.
One of the people that sounded happy with it initially was Colt Cabana, who feigned concern, it would seem, but he was howling with laughter on commentary. But then he did
Yeah,
come over and check on you.
he did come over and check on me, which was weird because I did not hear any of it. I do wear an IFB, which for layman's terms is an earpiece. So I hear commentary during our pay-per-views and TV tapings, and so I hear Ian and Colt doing commentary through the entire event. Now I did notice that the earpiece did not pop out when I went down, but I did not hear any of what they were saying. So when I watched it back, I could hear Colt's shock. I don't know if he was happy. I think he was more shocked that that I got wiped out, because it's in my 14 plus years with the company, I don't get physically touched very often. But he did. He got up from commentary and he came over. We've known each other so many years, and I got a kick out of Ian saying on commentary to call Kenna and call Sarah, my two daughters, to check on them to make sure that they were okay. But yeah, Cole came over, left the commentary position, checked on me, and then made sure, once they got me out of there, carried me to the back. He went back and resumed his announcing duties.
So, what was the reaction back, or what was the reaction like once you got backstage? Like, how did people take to that? Was it concern? Was it somebody? Were people just? I don't want to say surprised, but were they? What was the reaction to that?
The reaction was BJ Whitmer was sitting at the gorilla position, and as they carried me to the back, I was with it, and he said something to me. Oh my God, that looked terrible, or something, and that was about it. But we bust each other's balls all the time. So other than that, I really didn't hear much. Just after the event, and of course the next day of the TV taping in the same building, people kind of asking how I was doing and checking on me. But yeah, I could probably count on one hand over the years I've been with the company of the times that I've gotten injured or getting taken out, and that was the first one in a while. I think the last one before that was on I must have problems on pay-per-views. There was a pay-per-view up here in Lowell, Massachusetts, where Tetsuya Naito just decided to, as I was introducing Jay Lethal, come over and kick me in the stomach and then promptly push me out of the ring with his foot to the floor. But and so I guess I should be aware on pay-per-views of my safety.
Were you able to avoid the Tommaso Ciampa rampage that he went on his last appearance?
No, he got me. He
figured.
got me. Yeah, he got me in Chicago. It wasn't his last appearance, but it was one of, and he got me in Chicago. He wiped out, or tried to wipe out, Kevin Kelly from the announcing position, and then I just happened to be getting in the ring to announce. I think we were going to intermission because we were doing a road race TV taping that night. It wasn't a full TV taping, so I was announcing we were going to intermission, and he just came in and got me in the corner and choked me down, and then hit me with about 4 or 5 of those Ciampa famous running knees in the corner. So yeah, I didn't escape that one either.
My God. So my question is, did Jay Lethal check on you after the bump?
Yes, he did. Yeah, he did check on me. He made sure I was okay. And he's one of my better friends in the company, probably my 2 or 3 best friends in the company. So, I think he was concerned to make sure that I came out of it okay. So that was good.
We often hear of people who work in announcing capacities, whether it be ring announcing or color commentary, having additional duties with the companies they work with. Is that the case with you, or are you strictly a ring announcer for Ring of Honor?
No, not really. I'm just a ring announcer now. I would like to be more involved. Back when Adam Pierce was our booker, I was much more involved back then when Carrie owned it. Pierce used to call him his right-hand man. I would book all of the extra talent. I would book the dark matches at TVs, that kind of stuff. And then that went away, and now I'm basically a ring announcer. I mean, I do, we'll have production meetings or something, and I will speak up, and everyone's really good to know, obviously, with the years I've been there and stuff. If I think something may look better or sound better or just go in a different spot better, I'll speak up and say something in a production meeting, and 99% of the time when I do that, because I only do it when I really believe in something, we'll change it. But no, really, it's just my contract says ring announcer, and that's basically all I'm doing right now.
You've seen a lot of changes in Ring of Honor, from television to ownership, a lot of stuff like that. What have been some of the major changes that you've witnessed take place as it pertains to how Ring of Honor is run?
I was asked this question the other day, and my answer is usually the same as far as the changes that I've noticed are basically in our production value, whether it's in-arena production or our TV and pay-per-view stuff, which is really good now. When I started in 2004, we were a DVD company, then started doing the iPay-per-views, and there was a gradual improvement in our graphics and so forth on that, but certainly nothing compared to what we're able to do today, being owned by Sinclair. And our editing team is awesome. I always just love to watch our pay-per-view opening videos. Most of the time I get to obviously see it before it airs on the pay-per-view, and I'm just like kind of blown away at the stuff that these guys can do now when they're editing this stuff. Our thing has always been, from I think day one of the company, which I wasn't there, but not long after, to this day, there's been such a roster turnover at times over the years, with people coming and going, obviously, and that's well documented. But the one thing that's always remained the same is the quality of the product inside the ring. And somehow these guys, as good as they are, have been able to maintain that, no matter who's on the roster, who's moved on, who's come back, anything like that. So that's been something that I've just been blown away at seeing over the years, sitting so close, is how good the stuff inside the ring has remained. And I think that's been the main reason for the growth of the company, the entertainment value of these athletes. But, going back to the production stuff, just looking at since Sinclair bought the company from Carrie, looking at, our in-arena production at TV tapings with these video walls now that we have and different things, and now just throwing in some pyro for different people. It's been really good, and there's definitely been an investment made to improve those things. The setup that we had in New York City at Final Battle in December was the most elaborate setup that I've ever seen us have. It was awesome. A long stage with the video screens and video stuff above the ring on a truss. Really, really impressive stuff. So those things have been the biggest changes that I've seen.
One of those big changes is the Honor Club service. How far ahead did you know about this service, which makes Ring of Honor available to a lot more people?
Yeah, I had heard rumblings. They kind of kept it quiet even with us, or maybe they just kept it quiet for me. I don't know. But there wasn't a lot of talk about it. We had heard that we were going to come up with some sort of a quote unquote network or a streaming service, and then all of a sudden, I think we were in. Trying to remember where we were. We did a TV somewhere, maybe in Atlanta in January. I'm just trying to remember this, and on the format, it had a match that was basically taped exclusively for Honor Club. And actually, I think it's Nashville now that I'm thinking back. But And I said, Honor Club. I didn't even know what Honor Club was, but I just knew we were taping content exclusively for Honor Club, and then kind of found out what Honor Club was. I've said so many times that the more eyes on the Ring of Honor product, the more fans it will gain and keep. Because I think once people see Ring of Honor, then they're hooked on it. And Honor Club, I am a salesman in real life, but I'm not going to sell Honor Club. But it is a tremendous value. I mean, people can spend whatever it is, $120, $130, and get all of the live events on the road, and get all of the pay-per-views if they pay up front. All the pay-per-views, quote unquote, for free. I mean, that's pretty good stuff. And I know they're constantly adding content. The classic stuff, from earlier in the company's days will be on there. It'll only continue to grow and get better. So I think Honor Club is it's in its infancy right now, but it's really, really going to be a good thing for the company.
As we film this, it is April 2nd. Supercard of Honor is this Sunday, going up against some stiff competition, but Ring of Honor has really stacked the deck. You have Cody versus Kenny Omega, Dalton Castle, Marty Scurll, Hangman Page, Kota Ibushi. The Women of Honor tournament, title tournament's going to see its conclusion. Ishii, Punishment Martinez, a big 6-man tag team championship match, ladder match. Then you got Briscoes against Tanahashi and Jay Lethal. Just a stacked card. What are you most looking forward to on that show?
Yeah, it's almost hard to pick, even 2 or 3 things. I mean, the thing is absolutely stacked, as you said. And then, any wrestling fan or anyone that's familiar with the talent in Ring of Honor in New Japan would say that. This thing is it's loaded. And I'm happy to see it because, when you put a title on something called Supercard, which we do every time, every year this time, it should be a Supercard. This is absolutely a loaded Supercard. So I can't, obviously the whole dynamic with what's going on with the Bullet Club and Cody and Kenny is a huge thing right now, not only here, but also in Japan, as we've seen, and, anyone that saw the pictures recently of Cody's eye from a kick from Omega, it's a pretty real thing, what's going on there. So that whole dynamic, but like you said, Marty Scurll has been after a world title shot for months on Ring of Honor TV. He's finally getting that title shot in New Orleans. The 6-man tag team titles in a ladder match. I mean, you're talking about a team challenging, being the Young Bucks and Flip Gordon as part of a ladder match. You might as well just sit there and just have your jaw wide open, because you're going to get blown away by what's going on with these guys challenging for the 6-man titles. So, basically all of this stuff. The Women of Honor thing has been great. Tournament, we've had not only our core Women of Honor talent like Mandy Leon and Sumi Sakai and Kelly Klein and so forth, and Deanna, but also now, we've had Tennille Dashwood come in, and she's been on fire and been a great addition to the roster, as well as the female talent from Stardom. Someone like Madison Rain was in the tournament. So Women of Honor will only continue to get bigger and better and grow. And we're going to see our first Women of Honor champion crowned in New Orleans. That's pretty cool.